Today will be day 3 of the hearing of petitions against Section 377 in the Supreme Court. They will continue today. It's day 3 of that hearing.
Well, uncertainty over the centre's position evaporated on Wednesday after it filed an affidavit in the court stating that the government, I beg your pardon, puts the entire onus on the criminality of homosexuality in this country on the top court to decide, and also on the constitutional validity of Section 377.
The lawyers spoke about all of the fundamental rights that were being violated by Section 377, which are present in Section 14, 15, 19 and 21 of the Constitution. That includes the right to life, the right to freedom, the right to dignity and the right to privacy. They also cited the Nalsa judgment and the Hadia judgment and cited them in order to make their case against Section 377.
I see Section 377 is a crime on basic rights of an individual, of the citizen of this country. It should be completely scrapped down because it violates the fundamental rights of a human being, and hence I stand against Section 377, and I hope that this time Supreme Court, the apex court of this country, would rule down Section 377.
Let's go across now to my colleague Anisha Mathur, who's tracking the developments for us in the Supreme Court. So Anisha, yesterday was a rather important day with the centre virtually now telling the court that they are not opposed to the scrapping of Section 377, softening of stand in a way, Anisha, in this case, whereas in the past the government has taken a very hardline position on keeping this section.
See, what we need to remember is that the government has said very clearly that as far as it comes to adult consensual relationships, it is leaving it for the court to decide. But if the court wants to take up any other issues with regard to other rights of LGBT persons, especially when it comes to civil rights, then the government wants its side to be heard. In fact, the government has also yesterday, AG Tushar Mehta made it clear that issues like incest, bestiality, other sexual offences, etc., should not be brought into this entire discussion, which the court has also made it clear that what they're looking into right now is only and only the issue of decriminalization of an adult sexual consensual activity. So on this limited issue, of course, the government seems to have changed its stand from the earlier stand of public morality and other things, and now the government has changed its stand. And very importantly, what the court has also seems to be in favor of decriminalization from the kind of comments and the observations that have come from the bench, especially with the court observing that they are looking at the right of a person to be able to live without the fear of prosecution. It is a very, very positive outlook when it comes to LGBTs,
right.
A person being able to live a life without fear.
Right. So, Anisha, basically it boils down to this, that consensual sex between two adults cannot be criminalized in this country. That is something the government has conceded. The LGBTQ has also, of course, argued that these are rights that have been already granted to them by the Constitution, because it comes under right to a life of dignity, right to privacy, right to freedom of expression. So, in a way, this was something that had to go, it's just a matter of time.
Well, that is the argument that that has been put forward by the petitioners. Simply that while this kind of a restriction on the expression of their sexual orientation is a violation of the rights, as you just said, right to privacy, right to dignity, right of choice of partner, right to even simply right to life.
Yes.
And freedom of association. So all of these issues are being argued today. In fact, it is likely that the petitioners will in fact conclude their arguments, and we will hear from the interveners, from the religious organizations and other organizations who want to oppose decriminalization of 377. The centre may also start its arguments. The ASG had asked for time from the court yesterday for some time to put forward the centre's point of view. So we will see today exactly how this goes, because as I was saying earlier, it seems that there is a ray of hope, that there is a ray of hope for LGBT persons, that at least they will be able to live a life without fear. Back to you.
Absolutely, Anisha. We'll be tracking the developments in court very shortly. Today is day 3 of that hearing. Thanks for joining us.